This is an area that is the epicenter of krill fishing and whale recovery, and yet we know almost nothing about it. As far as scientific understanding in this region, it's extremely limited. You know, if you look on a map, there's just huge swaths of the map that's just like uncharted. So it's not just like you can just come here and know what to expect because so few people have ever come here. This is the type of Southern Ocean that the explorers came across in the late 1700s, probably beyond their wildest dreams of what an ecosystem could hold. And we're starting to see that again, stuff that hasn't been seen in this ecosystem in over 100 years. So little is known here, and that's why it's so important that we're here to try to understand it better.
Station, we are underway.
Welcome to the, I'd say the white continent, but it's pretty gray here.
Pretty gray right now.
No, in person, I know, in 3D, I know.
Hi, Sophia.
And Justin.
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi. How's the flight?
And I think part of the thrill but also the anxiety is we don't know exactly what's going to happen. We're going to a very remote spot in a very rough stretch of ocean, and there's not a lot known from that area. In fact, the krill fishery is some of the only boats that visit that area at all. But yeah, I'm really excited to get out to this place that I've thought so much about over the last 5 or so years and actually see it with my own eyes. But also the people, I'm excited about the people and the camaraderie and getting to know new people. And this is a great team we brought down here.
Hello. Luca, nice to meet you.
Luca, nice to meet you. How are you? Nice to meet you.
What are we doing? Yeah, Justin.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Ted, nice to meet you.
Captain.
Welcome aboard.
There's been a lot of shocking images coming out of this campaign, and we want to know, again, just using a little bit more systematic observation, is it 1 or 2 whales near a fishing boat occasionally, or is it that every fishing boat has 20 whales around it all the time?
And the special thing about this voyage for us is the opportunity to really test hypotheses, right? So it's, one, is this the place with the highest density of whales on the planet? Science is valuable inherently, right? If you learn something and you put it in a research paper, that contributes to humanity. But to me, science that is accessible and interpretable and is meaningful to things that we really care about is 100 times more valuable. The South Orkney Islands, this place is literally not on humanity's map, but we think it is possibly the most important place for whale populations in the world. That's why I'm here to test it. And then the second question is really like, okay, if it is that, it's in a rapid state of change, recovery from whaling, and that state of change is happening also with ecological change, warming oceans, and most especially this krill fishery.
The biggest and most important thing we're doing, I think, is just a survey where you just kind of run a track line through this ecosystem very slowly, and you count the number of animals that you see off that track line, which is a huge area, an area the size of Switzerland. It's actually what we're trying to do, I think, most fundamentally, is understand where the different species of whales and other krill predators are in the ecosystem and how that does or doesn't overlap with krill fishing in a more rigorous way than, oh, we just bumped into the krill fishery, we took some observations, and then we went away.
That's a humpback.
1.5.
There's one here, but there's a humpback in front there.
Okay, yeah, the humpback.
I think I'm seeing all humpbacks.
There were 3 fins for
Were
sure
there?
up in the
Oh,
front. Yeah,
wow.
definitely.
Okay.
Colors were fins for
Okay.
sure.
Wait, but these ones are humpbacks.
Yes, these ones are humpback. This is a different whale.
Okay. Oh my God.
This is so distinct how there's just the numbers just peak when we're around the fishers. When you have that kind of competition, well, these whales used to be the biggest thing in these seas, but they are not now. They're tiny by comparison, especially when the krill fishers are highly concentrated. And of course, they're going to fish where there's the highest density of krill. Is it a surprise that that's also where the whales want to fish? What we're seeing now, this concentration of whales overlapping heavily with the boats. We saw not a single whale this morning until we were within, 2-mile range of the fishers?
Yeah, it's very noticeable, I'll say that. I mean, it's only a couple days of information, but it's pretty stark. Yeah.
Is that creating a conflict where the fishers are potentially taking food from the whales in a way that is going to lead to stress?
What's happening when the krill fishery says they take 1% of the total biomass, where the fishery operates is such a small portion of the total area where they could operate that the 1% number is misleading.
You have a structural conflict where the krill fishers say they're only taking 1%, but right here and right now, I don't know what it is, but it's a lot bigger than 1% because the area that defines that 1% is not the entire Southwest Atlantic, but it's this tiny little zone right at the edge of South Orkney Islands, Coronation Island. Vessel, LNK, can you see?
Yeah.
We're Team 1, MG. A big chunk of my work here as well is from the small boats where go out and approach whales, but we'll actually take a genetic sample from the whales and we'll try to pair that with photo ID images so we can track that individual over time.
Go forward or up? Oh, it's fine for now. Back.
The drone should be close to over you now. Do you see it? Over?
We do indeed, and we do have a logging whale not far off, so once you're done, you can navigate towards that whale. Good conditions, deployed the small boat in order to capture good data for this whale population that is very, very minimally sampled. We just don't know a lot about these whales, other than they're here for the krill. So there's our whale. We've got now drone and photo ID of this whale, so it'd be really awesome to get a biopsy. They can stay down for 40 minutes without breathing when they're at low activity.
Yeah, if you could stay nearby and when that whale resurfaces, give us coordinates relative to your position and we'll try to get the drone over.
Go.
By the drone image, we can also tell their body size, their condition, age class. Are they a juvenile? Are they an adult? From the biopsy sample, we can find out the sex, a whole bunch of genetic information. We can get pregnancy status, which is really important to know. Good. Okay, we got one maybe coming up here. This guy, yep. Dead slow, dead slow.
Move right under the bow.
Okay, now to starboard. Did you get the biopsy, the fluke of the second one? Yes! That's awesome. That's amazing. 5 biopsies, 3 with fluke.
We're landing the science drone now.
I think this went better than anyone could have expected. And we're still doing stuff. They're still out there. They're coming in now. But what a day. What a day. I think the place speaks for itself. We just have to bring the place to people, because not a lot of people are ever going to be able to visit this place. We have this very rare opportunity. This is more or less the only, or at least the longest, scientific survey of this region. We're gathering all this information so that we can take that information to policymakers, to the public, and say, is this a place that you want to have on your planet untouched, or is this a place that you want to have, marred by different types of human activities? I think we have enough of those places, and places like this should remain sacred in these ways. But we're trying to make that point with data this time.
Very exciting for us was that we've also seen concentrations of whales away from the krill fishers. I think it's a broader message here, is that we have both very resilient oceans, but also very sensitive oceans. So it's very much a question of our choices as a society. What we do here determines the fate of the welfare of these animals.
I think we are at a crossroads for the future of Antarctica, and decisions that we make in the next 5 or 10 years will affect the next 5 or 10 decades.
I mean, there's a lot of whales there.
Oh my God, there's too many. I don't know what to do. Okay, I am overwhelmed. How do we deal with this?
Oh shit.
Then you might want to be taking fish shots because I'm seeing flutes.
Yeah, there's like hundreds of whales here. This is
Really?
mad, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
On my side, I see 2 flutes already.
If anyone wants to come up and look, we're in a really big aggregation, 100 whales easily, fin and humpbacks.
I'm ready whenever you all are.
Look at how fast they are. Yeah. Whoa, you gotta go again and get a group of people. Look at that, Seb, look at that.
Just in case you didn't see the fin whales off your bow as well, in addition to, 4 dozen humpbacks to your port.
Really hard to count, especially with a bit of fog. Maybe there's 100, 150 whales, and we're now thinking to get some recordings of the soundscape around these whales. So we brought this hydrophone, which is kind of exciting because what we've seen from the fluke IDs that we've gotten, so to date we have counted 10 whales that we've seen previously using the identifying features. Oh, and right at us. Right at us. Look at this. That is phenomenal. Hi, guys. Oh, my goodness. Whales under the boat. So wonderful. It's amazing that after we almost eliminated the species, they've come back so well and will continue to thrive so long as we don't take all their food. Let's approach them on the starboard side.
Still to port.
A whale right there. Woo! Oh my God, look at that. Okay.
Too much.
It's like crazy. I mean, yeah, everyone is about to cry. We are super happy to be here. And that's why we are here for, just to protect them. We are very lucky.
We're seeing huge aggregations of fin whales returning, and there are very few people alive that will have ever been able to see anything like this. So we are the first generation that is getting to see the return of the fin whales, the return of the giants. We need these regions on the planet as hope spots, as regions of hope, regions of inspiration, not regions of exploitation. We've done that a lot around the planet, and we need to leave some for the biodiversity that makes this planet a really special place to be.
We've got 15 minutes of recording. And inside this hydrophone will now be stored all the calls and songs of the whales of this little patch of the western side of the South Orkney Islands. That's all. Good work. Are we good to go? Yeah? Yeah? So this trip has been, for me, just an absolute dream because I've been sailing by South Orkneys for years and years and years. And quite frankly, my perspective on this place was like, oh yeah, cool, there's maybe a few whales there and there's a really cool penguin colony to the south side. And then all these things just start pointing to, this place standing out. So what we're about to play is the humpback whale song that we recorded while we were out along the coast of Coronation Island. The scale and rate of change here, I mean, again, like this is like the third time. I get goosebumps just thinking about it because you have these animals that are hyper social, that are like saturated in culture, and they've gone from there's nobody here to, hey, it's a party, let's sing about it. So I wanted to just chat a little bit about the results from our work. We put in 88 hours of on-effort time on the bridge when the conditions were good enough to be, looking out and recording every whale. Visual survey, 60 hours, which was like, okay, well, we're trying, but it's bad conditions. And ran 660 nautical miles. The colors are whale sightings, right whales, humpback whales, fin whales, and this is just next level. I think we'll be doing a little bit of legwork to try to understand very specifically and quantify, where else adds up, right? So, but then the second part of this, how does that play with the krill fishery? And in red here is the krill fishery as we saw it, and the overlap is, to me, one of the major focuses of our science now. So this is pretty dramatic. There's pieces missing here. How much are the krill fishers taking? We can calculate that. How much are the whales eating? Well, once we get together, basically taking this and turning it into how many whales are here, we'll start to get a real good feeling of the potential conflict. So I see conflict, but I also see a lot of beautiful whales, and so it's really special to be here, and that's the talk. So, yeah.
A goal that we have is to promote this area so that when people think about these spectacular aggregations of wildlife, they add it to the list: Amazon rainforest, Serengeti wildebeest herd, and also the whale aggregations of the South Orkneys or the Southern Ocean. We want it to be on par with those things because it is on par with those things. People just don't know it yet, but we hope that together we can promote it in such a way.